didn't check my battery before the stream, so it's not going to be very long. Um, Sorry, missed this weekend. Big, a lot of stuff going on. So I ended up, moving from a previous place. Um, been investing a lot of resources in that. Also had to work multiple positions. Still behind on some of the stuff. Presidents, they threw a monkey wrench in. I don't have access to my office, and that's where my tools are for finishing up some of the stuff I got to work on. And if you know me, you know I'm always looking for a reason to have a day off or get paid double time, time and a half, whatever extra money may be offered on that particular day. It's one of those things. I celebrated Nazi Day or KKK Day. It's the day you got to wash your sheets, make sure you're good and golden. I even celebrated Christopher Columbus Day. I knew it was bullshit, but it's you get a day off. I mean, I didn't want to go to school. I was one of the people just like, how is he discovering a place where people live? At the same time, I'm not going in to finish any classwork on his day off. But I also celebrated when we switched it to Indigenous Peoples Day, because those are the people who the European powers steal from and then take credit for their inventions. This is nothing new. One of the days in question. I mean, we definitely need to question this motherfucking day, President's Day. I say that because I'm curious. Have we ever had a good president? Is anyone like writing letters to Joe Biden thanking him for his commendable work, raising an amazing child like Hunter Biden, or having his son Beau killed in a war he celebrated? Anybody celebrating those presidential showers he took with his daughter? I mean, I look at it like if it's a day to commemorate a club of people that includes Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, both of the Bushes, Bush Sr. and Bush Jr. We know George Bush Sr. was like the head of the CIA. Then all of a sudden he's just the president. Ronald Reagan. I mean, we just keep going back. It gets horrible. It gets atrocious. We're looking at Woodrow Wilson created the Fed, the IRS, their ability to steal from you, to fund all of this oppression. You're funding your own oppressors through the theft of presidents like Woodrow Wilson. Why do we have days celebrating these people? I mean, any contribution. I mean, we get fed like a bullshit narrative in history. Like we had good presidents. Like, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. No, he didn't. I mean, it happened under his watch, the Emancipation Proclamation, which was bullshit. But it's only because they had pressure from organized movements. People like Frederick Douglass, and then you had like slave revolutions, Nat Turner's and your Haitian Revolution that scared the shit out of them. And not just slaves, you also had people like John Brown going around killing slave masters. These are the things that forced presidents' hands. It became no longer financially viable. They needed to create a system that had the illusion of inclusion. So it's just like the outcome of the oppressors was maintained. They threw more people into the slavery chains. They just evolved their tactics. But still the same vile people running the society. It's not like the smartest person is the president or the wisest or the, most warm-hearted. It's not. We got killers as presidents. We got psychopaths, sociopaths at best, and yeah, it always boggled my mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. Give me the day off. I mean, I wish I didn't have the day off. I wish I could get into my fucking office so I could, because I have to be done with this project by Wednesday. So that means I'm just gonna have to work extra hard tomorrow. However, yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have the day off, I wish we were doing something that made a lot more sense and praising people like Joe Biden. Joe motherfucking Biden. If he's in anything, it should not be celebrated. He hung out with Klan members, gave their eulogies. Why not Klan Day? Why don't we just repurpose President's Day into Revolutionary Day? I mean, we need to be reminded of the revolutionaries who changed history. Your Malcolm X's, Marcus Garvey's. I mean, yes, their movements were ultimately squashed by the government, but they want you to revere the government that stomped out revolutionary change. Because I guarantee the world that Malcolm X was trying to build was much better than the one we see right now. And I guarantee no president that has ever been in power in my lifetime would get the okay from someone like Malcolm X. Not even Barack Obama. It's it's a farce, our political system. And yeah, just the sure shooting as you got a crooked ass government full of criminals running shit. They're going to praise the criminals and lock up the snitches like Julian Assange. And Julian Assange is fighting for his freedom and his life, basically. He's supposed to be going to trial, and they're going to decide if he's going to be sent to America for exposing the criminals who run our government, even though he's not a U.S. citizen. And even though everybody should be in the business of exposing the criminals who run this shit once they find out. So, fuck all the presidents, fuck all the government, not just my government. Fuck all British colonial states. That's America, Canada, Israel, Ukraine, all these motherfuckers who were colonized by the Brits, had their rigid hierarchical structures implemented top down. Yeah, because these are the most evil, corrupt governments in the world. And yeah, if you got any common sense, you would not be celebrating these motherfuckers. You would be revolting. You'd be celebrating the revolutionaries. And you gotta keep in mind, we are not outnumbered. We are out organized. To borrow a quote from Brother Malcolm. And his execution day is coming up. So it's just like, it's something we need to keep in mind, like we can turn President's Day into Revolutionary Day, or we can just make it Malcolm X Day and have a Revolution Day some other time, get 2 days off for one President's Day. It's a win-win in my book. So yeah, like I said, the live stream is going to be significantly impacted by the fact that I did not charge my devices and already got the notification I'm low on power. But I wanted to tap in with y'all because, I missed this weekend. I want everyone to know all this copacetic. Just moving on, getting shit done. And right now I still got to finish up some reports and whatnot, and punch up a bunch of historical knowledge for a class. So I'm gonna be getting to that. And also my light is out right now. So and I left the plug-in lights at in my office. So I'm ill prepared for the live streams right now. So I'm gonna get it together. Hopefully, I got some quiet time in the office where I could like do another live stream sometime through this week after I finish up this. It's an African Heritage festival. I get to help put together the wardrobe, and I'm also going to be contributing some spoken word poetry. So that's going to be fun. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know who's going to be recorded. I'm assuming it's going to be recorded. That's not my role in this whole thing. But yeah, just know your history. Just know your presidents. Even the ones you think are good, they weren't good. It's like one of the ones I keep hearing, FDR. Yeah, he sent millions of Japanese people to internment camps. Um, and he came from a rich ass family, politically connected. The Delano and Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a grandfather or great grandfather on his mom's side who was selling drugs to Chinese people. If you know anything about the Boxer Rebellion, like the Opium Wars, that's how the Europeans they got a bunch of Chinese people high on heroin. No, heroin is a brand name, but they got them high on opium. Like they decimated their society. Like you see, you're in any major city, you see the zombies and shit like that. They had a situation similar to that. Then while they were sleepwalking through society, they used Chinese technology to run in there and steal part of China. Hong Kong didn't get freed until 1997, and now they're trying to use that as a foot in the door so they can like start a world war with China, the motherfuckers who created our technology. And it's just like they're not a perfect society by any stretch. But going from Beijing to LAX is like going from the Jetsons to the Flintstones. These motherfuckers out here are backwards. China has more high-speed rail, just more advanced society. They lift 800 million people out of poverty. They use that gunpowder for fireworks to celebrate that kind of shit. Out here, we use gunpowder to kill people and steal their shit. Then impose our education system on them so they think that they were saved, even though all of their contributions are stolen and then like patented, and then the Europeans pretend like they created it. So it's just like, yeah, that's what the president is there for. He's running a business. That's why whenever they talk about American interests, it's the interest of these corporations that include America. Because America was always a business venture. It was, built on slavery, built on theft, built on genocide. That's why we see Israel, they're trying to take our business model and export it to Palestine. Yeah, it's some evil motherfuckers. No president should be celebrated. None. Especially if they're in a Western government, a Western created government. Jimmy Carter was the last decent president. You could say decent. I mean, what did he do when he got out of office? He started like building homes, habitats for humanity. I mean, that's better than all the presidents I've had while I was alive, sure. But yeah, he still ramped up tensions with other nations, and by that point, America was such a force. You didn't have to start a war; you could just coerce other nations into our banking system. So that's economic war, So it's just like, yes, his whole thing was he never shot a bullet in another country or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the beast continued. continued looting. You never made things right. I mean, one of the things that was mind blowing for me, Jimmy Carter, he put solar panels on top of the White House because he was like thinking about this shit back in the 70s. He wanted to have like solar power, like, you know, set the example, which would have been great. You know, we could have started moving in that direction, making the technology cheaper and cheaper after generation. But yeah, as soon as Ronald Reagan got into office, he tore those motherfuckers down. And he wasn't really a president. He's more like Joe Biden. He's like a doddering old man who's being controlled. He's the puppet of his underlings. At that point, it was mostly George Bush, vice president. Yeah, and this is, you know, CIA was never supposed to be getting involved in our politics. Then we had the head of the CIA as a president. Before that, he was the vice president. So it's just like, yeah, this a rogue agency. That's why we need to celebrate revolutionaries who seek to overthrow that kind of shit, because that's tyranny. Anytime your government can do something that you can't do, that's tyranny. If your government can go kill people and steal their shit, and you can't, what does that say? That we continue to allow it? You know, it's a shameful disgrace, and like we need to lock up these criminals, not just for our safety, but yes, for our safety, because we matter, we're important. I don't want more criminals leading everything, because, you know, the more they get away with, the more they try to do. You see that shit with this presidency, but also for their safety, you know, because I'm one of those people. I remember people were making fun of Nancy Pelosi's husband getting hit with a hammer and having his shit broken into. I wasn't. I felt bad for him. I was like, we need to lock all of these criminals up so no one breaks into their house and like hits them with a hammer. You know, if we would have locked up Paul Pelosi years ago, that would have never happened. Same with Nancy Pelosi. I'm worried about her the most. She's so fragile. So let's throw her in a maximum security prison. You know, put her in like bedmates with a big burly scruffy looking lady. You know, and just like let her protect her or do whatever she needs to. Big Bertha is who I would recommend. Love the fit, man. Oh, appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be one of the jobs I'm being prevented from doing because my office is locked is making fits for these different groups. So yeah, so it's like I got like a new design. This is my old design for the group. I'm one of the groups I'm making stuff for, and yeah. So I don't know. I was looking forward to that, and I also gotta look at my options for what I already have, and I gotta like order some more stuff. So yeah, I can't do any of that right now. Thanks, President's Day. We got to. Are you writing your letter to Joe Biden to thank him for being president? Sack of shit. We have the 6th generationally Black-owned commercial cotton and soybean farm here in North Carolina, trying to build it up and provide shelter for others. Well, that's big. Well, yeah, I'm a big advocate for locally owned farms. You know, like you know, we had a bunch of policy passed, mostly under FDR to protect farmers. You know, because during the Depression, you had the Dust Bowl farms didn't produce anything. People ended up losing their farmland because, you know, how you gonna like pay what you owe when nothing is growing? So they had all these protections put in to help farmers. And back then, people used to farm. That was like a thing that they did, and they handed it down generation to generation. I got like a family farm in Mississippi that the family is like fighting over. That's mostly lumber. I got some ideas for new farming methods. Like, I mean, I don't know if you can grow hemp in Mississippi. I'm pretty sure you can't. Um, but that would be good for getting lead out of the soil and doing all kinds of amazing stuff. But Mississippi was discovered a while ago. They had a bunch of lead in their water. So it'd be good to like start new techniques to that would actually benefit the locals. But the issue with our farms now is none of them are locally owned. They're all owned by big agricultural corporations, and they're taking all these subsidies. Like Bill Gates owns 51% of the farmland in the United States. Never finished college. He's also America's #1 doctor. Never went to medical school. He's in charge of our education. Like I said, never finished college. But he donates to all the right people. He corrupts all of the right government officials. So his money is more important than making a better society. Because all his money does is, it seems like it's there to help, but it's there to make him more money. So, so it's just like we need to do away with all these corporations. That's why I say Revolutionary Day. I don't know any real revolutionary who's like, yeah, let's overthrow the government and let the corporations run shit. It's always like, these corporations got to go. Like you look at Malcolm X, his whole thing was we need to have Black-owned business. We need to have own the businesses in our community. You can replace Black-owned business with just locally owned, non-corporate, non-psychopathic, and the sentiment remains, and and that's what we need to do. I wish your farm much success. I mean, I think that's the best way to build a community. It's giving them healthy food, clean water. Food can be your medicine or your poison. All this processed junk and garbage that we get advertised in many cities, that's your only option. It's making us sick, making us dumb. And we need to just get rid of all of it. And all the motherfuckers who forced it onto us, they need to do some jail time. If you got a lobbyist, you got a giant corporation with a lobbyist, that's professional corruptionist. The motherfuckers who corrupt our politics. What are they there for? You think they're there to help you? They're there to lobby for their corporate masters. And that includes presidents, especially if we're talking about people like Joe fucking Biden. Man became a millionaire, multi-millionaire, umpteen times over. His son's able to buy 21 grams of crack rock, show it off on camera. Because it's just our body of politics is so corrupt that the shit, the dirtiest shit floats to the top of the toilet. And even a family that contributes nothing to society, like the Bidens, they're able to get rich off of corruption. At least Trump had businesses. You could understand how he made money. Biden is just like, what do they do? What do they own? Except for the influence in the government. That's why it's just like, is he senile? Is he demented? I think he's a crackhead personally, or just, let's say, drug addict. I think his drug portfolio is much more diverse than we could realize. That's why Pennsylvania, cities like Philadelphia, you see zombies everywhere. And I think that's because that's Joe Biden's home state. Do you think Biden can win without a leftist support this time? I don't think Biden won the first time. I don't think he won. I know America lost. The fact that we had to choose between Biden and Trump, we lost. But yeah, as for getting 80 million people out to vote, I don't think that happened. I think that's a farce. They talk about what you call it, uh, Microsoft Election Guard. Microsoft, they get billions of dollars in government contracts. Now they're guarding our election, and it's a private corporation, and they can control the outcome of the election, and they benefit, it going in certain directions. So I don't think he won. I think we're totally fucked. And yeah, it's not a real thing. If voting actually changed shit, it would be illegal. No, he's going to have a tough time, in my opinion. I mean, will he have a tough time? He'll have a tough time if he picks on the corporations that got him in that position in the first place. I don't think he's going to do that. Will he have a severe stroke? Will he die? I don't know. Some people are saying he died already, and they put in someone with a Joe Biden face mask. That's why he looks so weird, just lizard-like. Who knows? I don't know the real answer, but I know Joe Biden is not it. Man, I haven't seen The Pimp in a long time. What pimp are you referring to? Yeah, they infected it with lead on purpose. Got to squeeze us into these 15-minute cities. Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying revolt. Join the revolution. You look like Floyd Mayweather. I'm insulted by that. That's their plan. Fighting food insecurity is my top priority, and teaching survival sustainability. Well, yeah. I want to take some botany classes, grow my own stuff. Um, I think it's important. We were talking about how to do that, how to get the youth interested in just growing their own food, understanding where their food comes from, and I think that's the future. When those boomers die off, we will see changes finally for the worse or better. Boomers. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a mindset that a lot of people adopted. We were indoctrinated in hatred, and some people, they revel in it. You got young psychopaths in positions of power. It's just really we gotta overthrow the shackles of the corporation. Corporations shouldn't be able to own property. Period. Yeah, we need to just do away with them having all this power. So it's just like if any corporation took government subsidies, that's pretty much all corporations. They shouldn't exist. It should be a thing of the past. It should be worker owned. They shouldn't be able to own residential property. Why should they be able to make money off of creating a homelessness epidemic? They shouldn't be able to own businesses. That shit should be owned by the workers, the people who work there. Yeah, because when you have a board far away from the city that they're in control of, they don't give a shit if they're poisoning your water, your food. Yeah, they think they can protect themselves. That's why you see all these doomsday towers and shit. They're preparing for some fucked up shit. I don't think so. The boomers have passed their ways onto the children who will keep it going. It's been how they operate. Exactly. It's the pedagogy of the oppressed. I'll help you in any way you need to get started. It's easy to start growing even in a small indoor space. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm all about that. Yeah, we'll have to chop it up on how to make that come to fruition. But right now, yeah, I got some plants. I don't know if you can see it. I got an orchid. Those are notoriously difficult to grow. You can overwater them quite easily. And my device is about to power off, so I'm gonna get off before it does. But I appreciate you guys showing up, and I'm gonna try to get back into a live show when I get into my office and I got all of my lighting and stuff. It's gonna be a much better looking situation. So don't forget to be good to each other. Fuck all your presidents. Celebrate revolutionaries, and become one. Love y'all. You deserve better than this. So I'll see you in the streets, and holler. Grow your own food.